What's up everyone, it's Charles here with Rocket Punch. I'm going to do a review of the MPP10, which is basically a KO version of an oversized MP10. This is the box, this is the front here. It has, similar to Masterpiece style boxing. You got the nice satin finish back here, the glossy over the figure. It's actually very, very simple. It just says visual impact, and there's no other name on the front of the box. It's just a picture of the toy. I think there's a different variation of this box. I think it's like a illustration of the figure itself, but on this version, as you can see, it's just a picture of the actual toy. And I believe this is a picture of the actual oversized one, not just like a Takara or whatever. You can even see the arm is not pulled down here. But yeah, on the side here it does have a little description here, whatever. If you want to read it, I'll just pan down and you can pause it and whatnot if you really choose to. Otherwise, we are going to continue on. And I'd like to apologize in advance for my blue background. You don't need to adjust your screens. I am not at my normal review area. This is the only chance I'm going to get to review this. Otherwise, it would be very delayed. So please accept my apologies until I can square away my review area again. The back here, again, words. It says here, Laifu laser gun directly transforms under equipment state. There's actually, a bunch of English back here, but you pretty much know what's going on. And it's got a nice little pose here, which I really like, of the figure itself. I like that crotch thrust thing going on. As you can see, it does have a matrix. Again, this is really just a oversized version of the MP10, so pretty much everything is going to be the same, just in a larger scale. Here on the side, visual impact, and really this figure does have a big visual impact. Ages 5+, MPP10. We look down here. Can't read this, so don't bother waiting for me to translate that. It does have a certificate of approval, and the product name is Deformation Model Toys. Specifications, see the packaging. Apply age, 5 years of age or older, even though, actually it does say 5, I thought that said 8 maybe. Instructions, please follow instructions. That's a good tip there. Maintenance, avoid the water or in damp and something. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to open this up so you can hear, probably, there is Velcro bits underneath. I don't know if you can see that. Again, lighting is very poor right now. Got two tiny little LED lights. But yeah, so here is the instruction booklet. I think this is what was originally planned for the box. Unless there's a different version, I'm not sure. I could have sworn I saw a box with this illustration there. As you can see, there is a spec card. What's interesting about this spec card is it doesn't have rounded edges. I'm pretty sure all the Masterpiece cards had rounded edges, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little dark, obviously, because it's probably scanned off in original, but with non-round corners. And you'll see a little sticker float in here, and you'll see why in just a moment. But yeah, color booklet here. Nice little sleeve. Alright, moving on along. A nice styrofoam tray. A lot of people are going to hate that. A lot of people are going to think it's awesome. I love styrofoam trays because I really don't throw out the boxes, and I'd like to be able to put the figures back in at some point, for storage or travel, and not have them mess up. So we're going to actually plot the figure right now, and normally I'd be all over this thing drooling, which I still am, but I did have a chance to open this up. Again, I'm really sorry about the lighting, guys. It's horrible, but this is what I have right now. But here he is. In its total beauty. Again, very similar. It's identical to the MP10, just on a larger scale. I will be doing a little scale comparison. But right off the bat, a couple things. It has a little bit more die cast than you would find in the regular MP10. Not just because of the size, but the chest here is actually die cast. These little doors are die cast, which I thought was pretty cool. I think they are plastic on the regular MP10. Other than that, I mean, it looks just like an MP10. It makes my hands look really teeny, but it's just because this guy is really big, and you can see he's very tight. My regular Hasbro MP10, the arms are all over the place. These shoulders are really nice and tight, as you can see. They actually hold the figure up. The figure has a good amount of heft. Let's just close that there. And one of the things I did notice was the feel of the plastic. You know, you obviously have your KO MP10s that have a certain feel of the plastic. They have a certain texture. You have the regular Hasbro. This plastic, it's a little shinier, but it feels like really good quality plastic. You know, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe what it reminds me of are like the Korean toys, like the Korean robot toys. I don't know what they're called, but they have like a certain like shiny plastic that feels good. Very similar to that, if you know what I'm talking about. Again, everything's nice and tight. These arms have like very soft ratchets. You can feel them. The paint apps are absolutely spot on, very sharp. All the detailing is done very excellent here. You got the extra detailing of the KOs, you know, like these little bits here, the little surround here on the foot, a little strip here, you know, the arms, these little pieces. As a matter of fact, maybe they are in the original MP10. Let me check that out for just a second. Actually, no. Here's my Hasbro MP10. The reason he's all silly-like is because I'm traveling around with my bots. So I've had them in a box stored away. So they're all out of shape here. Normally don't like to treat my toys this way, but you know, seeing as my situation recently has changed, so yeah, I have to travel with these. But here he is. You'll notice does have less detailing, okay, compared to the KO, which is why I like the KOs. I mean, they've gone ahead and actually improved upon something that's already awesome. But here you can see the size difference. Not a lot of space here, but you can see that it does tower over the regular MP10 here. And just comparison also, I do have, I lost it somewhere around here. Oh, here it is the KO MP10. This, color-wise, is pretty similar to the one back there, which is the Takara coloring. Obviously, the Hasbro has a little bit of a brighter color, but the KO, I don't think it's the same company making these. I think this was Collection World or something like that, and then this is Wei Jiang or something like that. But they do have the same coloring of the KO, which has the little surround here on the foot, all the little details in here. It is a little bit different. So you can see they paint a lot more on the regular MP10 KO than they do on the oversized, but pretty much you know, get the idea that this is based off of that. Again, big size difference. And I know the MP10 KO is just slightly bigger, maybe, you know, 1/4 of an inch bigger overall than the regular MP10, maybe even less. But again, still towers over that. And you know, before I continue, I do want to thank tfdirect.com, who provided this, you know, as a sample, and I consider it more of a Christmas present because I got it on Christmas Eve. So thank you, tfdirect.com. If you're watching this, guys, and you're so far enjoying you know, what this figure has to offer, please use the link in the description below. You know, not only to support this channel, but also support tfdirect.com, because they're really cool guys with my channel. So definitely recommend them. And yeah, so continuing on along. This is an oversized figure, obviously, and you know, speaking of tfdirect.com, they, you know, also send out the oversized Grimlock, which I want to compare with this guy. So we're going to put this guy back here, and just give me a moment, grab the Grimlock, and here is that majestic beauty. I love these oversized toys. I mean, there's not much they scale with, but I think the Optimus Prime on its own, you know, I wouldn't mind it being on its own. But now that they have Grimlock oversized and this guy oversized, like, I'd like to see more oversized to scale with this. But you know, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, why would you want an oversized Optimus Prime?" I think it's more for the visual impact, and if you're just a fan of Optimus Prime, it does make a good standalone figure. I mean, you still have the MP10, which scales with the other Masterpiece stuff. I think this is just more for visual impact, just like it says on the box. Mostly like, you know, the, what do you call it, the Ultimetal Prime. Nothing else scales with it, but it's just awesome to have. and I think this is just one of those figures. So we're going to move on along, again, identical to the MP-10 aside from size. So we're going to go over the articulation. It's again identical, but you know, I'll point out any loose, you know, things or whatever that you should know about. But overall, very happy. The neck is very tight from side to side, a little looser up and down, but it's not loose to the point where it's just going to flop down. But it is looser than going side to side. You get these shoulders, which are very tight. So you can see I can twist the figure up, and believe me, the figure does have heft to it. Look at the tightness of the shoulder, but not so tight that you feel like you're going to break it, but it has a nice amount of friction. I'm sure it'll loosen up after a few spins. You can also pull the shoulders out, and they move up this way. Again, very tight shoulders, not too tight where you think you're going to break them, and they slide in also nice and firmly. You do have the rotating biceps here. Again, nice amount of friction, and I did show you the little ratcheting elbows before. Very nice soft ratchets, very firm. This right here, this has always been like a thing that bothers me, is when this happens. Again, it does take a good amount of pressure to get that to pop up. Not sure if that would bother anybody. If we go down to the wrists also, you know, have a nice firm feel to them. If we move down to the fingers, also nicer. So far, everything's tight. I mean, you know, you got the pin here on the fingers, which is cool, because on the regular MP-10, we all know that these little index fingers would pop off and you'd lose them. So it's nice to know that it's on a hinge pin there, which is really cool. We move to the waist here. We do have the waist. All right. Also, the legs here, which go forward. Listen to those ridiculous ratchets. Wow, that's crazy. Let's move the legs out this way. Again, very firm, as you can see. Nothing loose. You get the knees on the ratchets. Very nice sounding ratchets. A little softer than I prefer them, but they sound nice. And you also got the swivel here and the upper swivel there. And we move down to the feet. They angle this way. You obviously have the little toes here and a little heel. And I believe that is all as far as articulation. Again, the paint apps I said were spot on, very clean. These blacks here, this would be a very easy place to have a lot of overspray. So you can see it's razor sharp. It would have been nice to see how good they would have done the logo here. But for obvious reasons, it's not there. Even though the MP-10 KO has them, for some reason this doesn't. I guess they don't want to go that far as infringing IPs from other companies. But they do have the shape here of the Autobot logo. So if you have a repro label, you can add that on. Or I'm not sure. I haven't seen too many reviews on this guy. I'm not sure if everybody else's comes with the sticker. I haven't had a chance to view all the reviews, you know, all the way through. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but mine does have a little sticker there, just in case you're wondering. And how about some scaling with some regular or a regular masterpiece, because I only got one with me today. I would normally have access to tons and tons of robots, you guys know that, but sometimes life throws lemons, and what's that saying, when life throws lemonades, you drink it or something, or pretend it's not piss. So here, I don't even know what I'm saying, guys. It's you know, day after Christmas. I'm hella tired. It's probably the first time I've ever said hella in my life. But here is little teeny Bumblebee next to the gigantic Optimus Prime. You know, at this point, Optimus Prime could just step on him like a little bug that he is. Speaking of you know, scaling, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys that there is also if I could just grab him from the box. Is he taped in there? He's taped in there. There we go. You get a little, what is it, spike figure? Alright, take him out. It comes a little baggy here in case you're wondering. It pretty much looks like the original, except this does have you know, better face sculpt. I would hope it would, you know, seeing as it's a little bit bigger. He's got little eyes. They're painted on there pretty straight. Other than that, it's just your typical crappy wide-hipped figure. I don't know. And this I guess this would be like almost, I would consider this a better scale for some of the cars, because a lot of these little figures that they're making lately seem a little bit too small. But this one, you know, seems to be a good size. But again, there's nothing out there right now that'll scale to it, so whatever. But he's got the same articulation. You got the arms on these little pins here. You got the legs, the knees. The legs are individual. The figure, of course, it's not going to stand. This little mat here is soft, but oh, there we go. I was going to say, because it's soft, it's not going to stand, but there he is. That's what he looks like, next to Bumblebee in the gigantic Optimus Prime. All right, so let's move these things out of the way and continue on. And because we are getting close to transformation here, there's a couple of things I want to show you guys. Number one, the little spec card which I showed you before. Here it is out of the little package. This seems to be a little off-center, which is no big deal, but it is a nice glossy cardboard with the sharp corners. And here's the back. Of course, these specs are pretty much all the way up because it's Optimus Prime. And a little booklet, very high quality magazine paper, a little thicker than magazine actually, like the cover of a magazine. If we look inside, there's an explanation there in English and Chinese. The contents, which are not accurate because this does not come with a container or a roller car, but it does have these things up here, which I will get to next before we do hop on over to transformation. And it actually describes the transformation in English. I like the way it says here: fold the muzzle of laser rifle, press down until here snap. Again, it's a little weird, the English, but I'm sure you'll understand it. So this is the booklet here. All right, so it's just funny how it shows the the trailer parts, even though it doesn't come with it. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are working on getting a trailer for this thing, which would be super awesome. But I'm not going to hold my breath just in case. But yeah, so there we go. Oh, this is a very nice picture back here. It looks like I don't know if this is a picture of any old KO MP-10, but it's very shiny, very glossy. So maybe that's a prototype. I don't know. But here's the little illustration, which is a little goofy. Not really sure what they were trying to go for there, but it's obviously Optimus Prime. So again, I did mention there's some other accessories. Let's grab those out of the package here. Alright. And of course, it's wedged in there. We got this gun here. I'll open that up. It's funny how these little baggies have the little resealable thing, which is kind of cool, I think. But here's a gun. Again, made out of a very shiny plastic. Feels nice. The paint, again, is very sharp. Very minimal paint, just this part here, but very sharp. And again, another spot where it would be easy to get overspray, and it didn't. So they're obviously making these things very well. It's got the same folding feature as the original gun, so that's quite nice. We'll go ahead and attach his blaster here in his hand. Same thing, typical little slot there for the tab. See how good that fits. I'm sure it fits very well. Let's make sure. Tabs right in, holds without the fingers wrapped around it, but obviously you want to hold it in there for more security. So that's what he looks like with the blaster. What a dummy. I'm looking at this like it's painted black. That's actually a freaking hole. I don't know what I was thinking. No wonder it's super sharp. But the other black parts are sharp. So we're going to try this little bit out. All right, this little hump right here is going to stick out of that hole. That's what she said. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I said hole, so I might as well say that. So this is going to go in here. Alright, I always have issues with this. And obviously I'm doing something wrong. There we go. Close that ish up. Alright, so that's what it looks like with the little hump sticking out. I kind of like that. Some people are like, oh, why would they put this gun back there? But I like it. Actually, while we're back here, you can see the little tires, which are actually rubber. And we also have, where is it? Oh, I should have this thing all ready before I start filming. We have an Energon X, which is quite glossy. It almost looks like candy. I'm almost half tempted to lick it and see if it tastes like orange, maybe something else. But here it is. It is quite soft. I thought it was going to be a little harder. But look at that. Look how clear that plastic is. You can see right through it. It's not foggy or anything. So very high quality. No bubbles anywhere that I can see. Actually, there's a little bubble. Right there. Right there. But I think it has less bubbles than the original. Or I'm pretty sure I've seen bubbles in one of them. Anyway, so here it is. Little points are rounded off, obviously, so you don't poke your eye out. And then this swivels down here, which is pretty cool, standard. How about I actually show you what it looks like on the figure instead of putting it away? So this is, same thing. It's got that little weird molding, so you can put the thumb in there. I'm never really sure exactly which way to put it, but oh, there we go. Did it first try, and of course it's upside down. That's what it looks like with the Energon axe. All right, and we also get. Damn it! I really have to tape this in here, honestly. You can tell it's the first time I'm opening up the accessories. But we also get a matrix, which is again oversized so that it fits into this figure. And does this have the flaking paint? Because I know some of the KOs have flaking copper paint or whatever. It doesn't seem to be flaking off, which is cool. The chrome or whatever, the polish on this is quite nice. Very well cast here. And the paint, like I said, doesn't flake off like some of the KOs. And it's got the little jewel inside, which is like a translucent blue. Right, so to get that installed, we are first of all going to get rid of all this freaking plastic here, and we're going to open the chest. All right. All right. So we got here. Let's see if this is easy to open, because wow, that's freaking tight. That's super tight. And am I going to be able to open this? Probably not. It's super difficult. There we go. But I've got big sausage fingers. Get them right in there. So you can see the little matrix area. So we'll pop that in. Let's see how nice that fits in there. Oh, it pops in rather nice, which is really cool. So you can see that in there. But yeah, so I think having done that, what can we do now? We can probably move on over to transformation. Alright, and here he is in vehicle mode. I gotta say, I know this is reverse engineered and everything, but it almost feels like it's just been made like this from the ground up. It doesn't have any kind of little quirkiness to it that would make you think this was based off something else. Everything fits perfect. As a matter of fact, I've also transformed the Hasbro one here, which was not as fun. It's one of the first times I feel that the KO makes the original feel like the cheap one. The regular MP-10 KO, looks better than the original, but this is better than the original. And it's a little surprising for me to have to say that, but the Takara one, or excuse me, the Hasbro one here. Legs, sometimes don't want to stay together. It's just a fumbly mess. And this is the original one that this is based on. So how is this better as far as fitment and everything? Maybe it has something to do with the size. They're able to make the tabs a little bit better. I don't know, but it just feels a lot more solid. It doesn't feel like a KO. I can't stress that enough. So you got the looks of the MP-10 KO, which has extra paint apps, but you have the fit and finish of an original product, even more so, because like I said, the original, at least this Hasbro one, and it's the first time I transformed my Hasbro one, and I did it right after I did that, and I could tell the difference right away, how much better this was. And look at these feet, just don't even want to stay together, they're just flopping around like crazy. If you look at the KO, they're nice and sturdy there. And it rolls very nicely. and it just feels good. It feels nice and hefty. Now that all the weight is nice and centered, it really does give it a nice heft. I'm going to go ahead and transform Bumblebee here. It's the only one I'm going to be able to show you in vehicle mode out of my masterpiece, so give me a second. Well, that was a convoluted mess. I pretty much forgot how to transform Bumblebee, but finally I got it here. By the way, this is a KO Bumblebee, so it's just an assortment of KOs today. And this is how teeny he looks next to the Oversize Optimus Prime. That's just to give you a comparison. Again, I don't have other MP cars with me. I apologize. At least not at the moment. Wait till I get my new review area. But yeah, here it is. We pull out these little mirrors. They don't seem to want to come out more than that, so I'm not going to really force them. Again, beautiful. I love that the painted die cast matches the plastic. It's the same exact color. I mean, they've done a great job. Whoever's behind these KOs obviously has love for these figures. Everything fits beautiful. It just looks amazing. I know they can't get all the credit. They didn't really design the figure, but they made all the effort to make sure it is as good as it can be in an oversized mode. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go out on the limb and say definitely better quality than the Takara. Even the plastics feel better. We do a little forced perspective here, make them look like the same size, even though they're not. But here, we'll put them right together. Again, big size difference. Oh, forgot to do a comparison of this guy with the MP-10. It's already in alternate mode, so give me a moment. Let me get this into robot mode. I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. But again, just take a quick look-see at it in vehicle form. You can see the little details back here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and... am I supposed to pull these down? I'm not sure if it's down. I don't know, but there they are. I pushed them down because they obviously do move. So I'm going to get this in robot mode and then compare them to MP-10. And I'm sort of going to have to cheat because since I have my bots in storage right now, I can't really mess around as much as I'd like to. But here he is in the tray. This is the MP-10 in its tray. You can see he's actually shorter. So if you thought the MP-10 was a big figure, you are right. It is a big figure, but the KO MP-10 is taller. I mean, and I've always thought this was an excellent figure, but again, it almost looks and feels cheap. I mean, the plastics don't look as nice as that, like on the thighs. I don't think it was meant to look like that one. This looks a little dated. It is supremely heavy compared to that guy, but I'd prefer this guy over this any day of the week as far as stature and just display presence. And that's pretty much it, guys. If you like what you see, again, use the link in the description below to get it from tfdirect.com. Support those guys. They're really cool and they sell really awesome stuff. And hopefully very soon I will have a new review area where I'll go back to either my regular white background or regular black background. Hopefully something not this color. So again, I apologize for that, guys. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Until next time, bye-bye.